Hello YouTube. Forgive me for the background noise, but there's something I wanted to add before continuing to the main part of the video, and that is that it's just a disclaimer. The disclaimer is that I'm not intentionally trying to harass anyone. I'm not intentionally trying to give someone a bad name. I'm just trying to speak my mind and have a sense of closure of what happened. This is basically a follow-up video of that hour-long video that I made, and I gotta admit there were so much things I want to talk about that the video itself it could have been over 2 hours, but no, I had to crunch it as much as I can. There's so many things I want to say, but like I said, I'm not trying to harass anyone. I'm simply trying to send out a message video because I want a better understanding. In other words, a sense of closure of what happened there. It literally did bother me, and it bothered me for a very long time. So this video is not me. I'm not trying to attempt to harass anyone or make anyone uncomfortable. This video is simply more like a message video, but more importantly a warning to any viewers that is watching this, that this, like a similar situation, can happen to you. And I hope, like, anyone that's watching this, I really hope the best for you. But if you guys find yourself in a similar situation, I hope this video sort of resonate with you. And once again, I'm not trying to harass anyone, but at the same time, I'm also trying to send out like a message video. So this video is simply to clarify some things. So yeah, thank you guys for listening and enjoy the video. Hello YouTube. I wanted to make a clarity video because a couple while back I made a video almost an hour long, and it was basically a message video to this particular person that you see right here. Now keep in mind, this picture that I have is basically a screenshot of this person public, I repeat, public um, profile on YouTube on the same platform that I'm uploading this video on. This is her public profile, but I'm leaving essentially a message video to this person, so I'm not doing anything weird. But I did wanted to send a message or have some kind of communication to clear something that I felt a little guilty. And if you guys watch that hour-long video, I was trying to explain my side of the story, trying to explain my situation, what I felt at the moment, especially when I got mad. When I got mad, I really did feel like I was being toyed, I was being played, and this particular person, in the heat of the moment when I got upset, I felt like she did not care. She just wanted to continue the shenanigans and make the whole situation to make me look bad. But the funny thing is, the only saving grace on my end, on my side of the story, was the mere fact that I left her alone and I respected her boundaries. And she knew this. And because I left her alone and respected her boundaries, nothing essentially ever happened to me. Like, I wasn't punished, I wasn't, you know, like, there was no consequences on my end. The only thing bad in terms of how I felt was how I kind of brought something into the light that was considered very shameful. And on my end, I will admit, I had thoughts of being with her romantically. Like, those thoughts, they were basically intriguing thoughts, and it really got into my head. But at the same time, I had to keep my brain, my mind down to earth, be realistic with myself. And what I really wanted was essentially confirmation, some kind of, like making sure that I'm not crazy. I want to make sure like this is real, this is something that's actually happening. And I wanted to basically have a good understanding. That's all I basically wanted. And if she doesn't want to agree or pursue something else, it's totally fine. I'll respect her decision. But at the heat of the moment, I really did feel like I was being toyed, I was being ignored, even though she brought the attention to it. Like I said, I left her alone. Because I left her alone, she had zero reason to act up the way she was acting. Because the way she was acting, it was gathering a lot of attention, and eventually it blew up into our faces. And when it blew up to our faces, well, I wasn't the one, making it obvious. And after that situation where it blew up our faces, I essentially confronted her because I want confirmation. But I got so upset, so pissed in the heat of the moment because I felt like I was being toyed. I felt like I was being played, disrespected. And in my perspective, in my point of view, it felt like she did not care. And she was willing to throw me under the bus in order to save her image. But what's funny, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I'll repeat this statement over and over again. What's funny is that she had nothing against me because I respected her boundaries. In other words, I left her alone. I left her alone completely, and because of that, she, and most importantly, the guy that she was singing with, they had nothing on me, and I walked out that situation unscathed. So, for those of you wondering, for those of you who are watching this video wondering why I'm making a video about this, why I'm making a video about something in the past that's, long gone. Well, first, this video is essentially a clarity video. I want to clarify some things that I feel like the hour-long video wasn't enough to clarify. And I gotta admit, it was a very long video, and there were so many things I wanted to say. There were so many things I wanted to express deep down in my thoughts, how I was feeling in the heat of the moment. But just to clarify and to shorten it, I recently had a reminder because right now in this current job, you could say that I'm in a similar situation as what was happening back there. But this time things are a little different, and you could say the playing field is also different. The work environment is different and everything. But there was something that happened back there that stood out to me, and this is forever will be drilled into my brain, and I don't think I'll ever forget this, never, because this is a life lesson that I feel like every man should learn. Now, when it comes to romance, when it comes to dating, when it comes to sexuality, the difference between man and woman, how we perceive things, how we perceive sex itself, human bonding, etc., is vastly different from each other. What I'm trying to say is that how men view relationship, sex, human bonding is very different from a woman's perspective of human bonding, sex, relationship. Now, why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because back there, something was happening under the rug, and because this woman was eyeing on me, you could say that I saw a glimpse under the rug that I have a gut feeling that this is way more common than people realize. And me as a man, I'm starting to understand this. Me as a man, I'm starting to understand women better and better as I grow older, and I start not only experience relationship stuff with women, but also understanding women in general from what they perceive. Now, what I'm trying to say here, guys, I know it sounds like I'm vomiting random words, but what I'm trying to say here is that back back at that drama, back in that time of the drama, there is something going on that I feel like this is super common, but a lot of guys, us men, we're in denial about this. And what we're in denial about is sometimes women will get into a relationship with men that they're not attracted to. Sometimes women will sleep with a man that they're not truly attracted to. And why is that? It's because for a woman, it's like sex is like pennies, while for us men, sex is like a gold brick, a treasure that a treasure box that's filled with gold. I know that sounds like a horrible analogy, but think about how us men view sex versus how women view sex. Think about how women prioritize sex versus how men prioritize sex. Think about it, guys. Literally, I'm repeating my words about this because a lot of guys are in denial, but it's literally out there in the open, and thanks to the power of the internet, this what I'm saying is nothing new. What I'm saying is something that you could easily observe. And me, I had a personal experience about this. When this woman was eyeing on me, I fully realized that she was truly attracted to me. But but she was in a relationship with a man that she wasn't really attracted to. And I always wonder why is that? And that's because this man that she was in a relationship with has a lot of, best way I could put it simply, better social status and better things to offer than I did. And this man, he's he definitely has a bright future, but I look over his social media, and I'm not trying to stalk him. I was trying to reach out to him to apologize, but there was something that I noticed when I saw his social media, and I have a gut feeling that he's not gonna have a bright future in the relationship. Because once again, we're in the internet age, we could see thousands of videos of relationship got bad. And the most common thing what happens when a woman is in a relationship with a man that is not really attracted to and they stay together long term, what happens is, especially in marriage, what happens in those type of marriages, those type of relationship, is that the woman ends up cheating with the guy. And funny, well, I shouldn't say funny, but what usually happens, aside from the cheating, is that the woman will get pregnant from a guy that she's truly attracted to but will not commit, and instead will commit with a guy that's has better resources, best way I could put it, better resource and some aspect social status, in order to maintain a lifestyle that she truly wants. And that right there, guys, is what I'm trying to point out. That right there is what you could say going through, but through a position where usually a man would prefer to be in. Now, I will not deny, not to sound evil, guys, but I feel like I was in a position where that guy wished to be, but at the same time, me, I personally fumbled the bag, especially when I got pissed at her. I fumbled the bag, and in my end, I kind of fumbled very hard. I epically failed. But at the same time, I noticed it. I noticed it, and I realized this is way more common than us guys want to believe in. And the saddest part is that a lot of guys out there, they're in outright denial about this. They're outright denial about how women in general view sex very differently than men do. And this is something that I kind of wanted to address. I have a gut feeling that that relationship will not end well. Right now they're together from what I information that I gather. They're still together, but I have a gut feeling that relationship is not gonna end well, especially if the guy catches her with another dude. Especially if that dude is suspected, to have something intimate with her. In other words, an affair. And he's just gonna be another statistic of guys getting, cheating on. I know I shouldn't laugh, but this guy, he wants to believe in that lie. He wants to believe in this, happily ever after thing. That's why I wanted to talk to him, and that's another thing I wanted to apologize what I did back there. And me, I wanted to talk to this woman because I feel like this woman is lying to herself in order to wanting that happily ever after. But, you know, to have that, sorry guys, to have that happily ever after ending, you need to make sure that everything is in a line, if that makes sense. And at the same time, you have to be ready to make some sacrifices. And usually those sacrifices put you in an uncomfortable position. And that's another thing that I learned in my time in service. You gotta put yourself in uncomfortable position in order to make progress. Especially if that uncomfortable position gives you good benefits in the end of the tunnel. Well guys, I think I ranted enough and I'm about to hit the I'm over 15 minutes. I'm trying my best to make this video short. That's why in my other video it went over an hour, but I'm making this video to clarify some things and to clarify why I made that video. I made that video as a message for a lot of younger generation out there. Hopefully that you guys are watching this video. The whole point of this YouTube channel is to make like a mini diary and basically to spill out anything that I was thinking, but also my personal stories, what I've been through and what I think, what's wrong with society. So I hope you guys enjoy my story and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And please leave a comment down in the section below because I want to know your thoughts as well. Like I said guys, this is more common than people realize it, and what's even sadder is that a lot of guys, they're kind of in denial about this, but remember, women are very different from men. Well guys, I'm gonna end it here. I ranted enough, and thank you for listening and thank you for watching, and goodbye.